home to one of the best views of the northern lights, beautiful landscapes, and so much more. It is a place of discovery. So let's take a look at a few. First up, we have the giant squid found within the waters around Iceland and the largest of the squid species. The biggest giant squid ever recorded grew to be 43 feet long and weighed around 606 pounds, giving it the title of the largest invertebrate on Earth. Not only that, but this particular squid also has the largest eyeballs of all the animals on Earth, with some even growing to be as big as beach balls. And these giant eyes allow the animal to find its way in the dark depths of the ocean. The giant squid generally eats deep water fish as well as other squids by wrapping them up in its tentacles and tearing into them with its giant beak. Good thing this animal likes to spend most of its time at a depth of about 1,000 to 2,000 feet. Next up, we have the Hraunfossar lava field, home to the basaltic lava waterfall. And again, guys, I'm so sorry about the pronunciations here. What looks like rocks in which the Icelandic waters are flowing from is actually in fact basaltic lava, a relatively thin form of dark lava that flows slowly down into the waters below. While this is already super cool, due to the constant eruptions that took place in the area, it is littered with hidden caves, the longest of which is an astonishing 1,595 meters long, 5,200 feet, and in some places is 15.8 meters or 52 feet high. According to Icelandic folklore, the caves are said to be home to native trolls. Next up, we have the Langjokull Glacier, and again, I'm so sorry about the names here. It is the second largest glacier in Iceland at 939 square kilometers, which is 361 square miles. Within the walls of the glacier lies a man-made cave, which holds the record for longest man-made ice cave in the world, and it's absolutely stunning. Another cool thing about this massive piece of ice is that it sits atop an actual bed of fire, and by that I mean two active volcanoes, which causes the most beautiful juxtaposed mix of freezing ice and hot volcanic activity where the two meet. Next on the list, we have the Starry skatefish found in the waters surrounding Iceland. Also known by its scientific name, Regisatulata, it is a cartilaginous bottom-dwelling fish, generally found at a depth of 18 to 982 meters, about 60 to 3,222 feet. Wow, this thing's got range. The animal generally lives up to 14 years, maximum of 15, and has a length of about 76.1 centimeters. 29 inches. The creature is lucky to live in Iceland as it does prefer colder waters, generally around 8.9 degrees Celsius, 48 degrees Fahrenheit. When the starry skate lays its eggs, it does so in what's called a purse, and each egg can contain up to 7 embryos. Now, the animal is unfortunately considered to be at a vulnerable state due to overfishing, as its wings are considered to be a delicacy among the Icelandic peoples. But with efforts made by wildlife conservatories, we are really hoping their numbers will be back up in no time. Next on the list, we have Hafgufa, a terrifying sea creature of Icelandic folklore, said to have been a kraken-like monster that would swallow ships whole, leaving behind nothing but wreckage and a few lost sailors. In recent years, however, it seems that scientists have discovered that there is some truth behind the mysterious legend. It appears that what was believed to be the largest sea monster of all was actually just the largest mammal of all, a whale, utilizing a hunting strategy known as trap feeding, which happens when the massive animal sits motionless on the surface of the water with its mouth open, attracting fish and other small animals, and then slamming it shut, filled with its prey, and diving down into the oceanic depths of the Icelandic waters. The sea monster, not so much, but that I would like to see. At our halfway point, we have a discovery made inside of the concealed cave. Archaeologists found signs of human presence within the cave. Not only that, but the evidence also led researchers to believe that whoever it was had been cooking and eating horses within its walls at some point during the 12th century. Perhaps the strangest and most terrifying part of this discovery is that other than this, there has been no evidence or record that humans inhabited the area during the 12th century. Not only that, but if they had, by that time eating horse meat would have been extremely forbidden by the Icelandic church, which begs the question, was what they found really evidence of a human, or perhaps something else altogether? Next, we have the great spider crab, commonly found along the shores of Iceland. This thing grows up to 12 inches across in its center body, which doesn't seem so bad, but its leg span can be up to 12 feet across from claw to claw, making this thing just slightly terrifying. When the creature outgrows its hard exoskeleton, it will molt or shed, leaving behind a hollow copy of itself. It will then remain soft-shelled for many days before its outer layer hardens again, providing protection to the animal. The animal is generally known to eat dead or decaying fish, so like corpses. And while this crustacean only has a few known predators, octopuses have been known to tear off the limbs of the crabs for a quick snack. But don't worry, they regenerate. And next we have the American mink, and don't let the name fool you, as these things were first introduced to Iceland in the 1930s and have wreaked havoc on its lands ever since. These semi-aquatic species, which looks to me like some kind of otter mixed with a meerkat, generally ranges from 17 to 27.5 inches long and weighs just about 2 to 3 pounds. But don't judge a book by its cute cover, because these things are vicious and even capable of taking down animals much larger than themselves. They generally attack their prey by pinning them down and administering a strong bite to the back of the neck. Because of the aggressive nature of the American mink, it doesn't have very many natural predators. In fact, the largest threat to the animal is humans. While minks have been known to attack larger animals, they generally enjoy a diet of birds, fish, eggs, insect, and small mammals. Cute, but no thanks. And next we have the Lagarfljot lake monster, another Icelandic creature that lives alongside trolls and ocean monsters within the folklore. The creature is said to be a giant worm-like thing that lives within the Lagarfljot lake and has been described as being longer than a football field and as having many bumps and ridges along its back. A video which surfaced in 2012 seemed to have captured the monster swimming just below the surface of the water, which has led many locals to believe that the animal really does exist. While some have claimed the image to be nothing more than a sea snake, scientists have pointed out that that's impossible, due to the fact that snakes do not have the ability to regulate their body temperature and would therefore not survive in the cold waters of the Icelandic lake. What do you guys think it is? Let us know in the comments. And finally, this one is actually pretty recent and definitely terrifying, as in mid-January of this year, the country of Iceland experienced 2 massive volcano eruptions that have threatened the existence of a town called Grindavik. And again, I do apologize for the pronunciation. On January 14th, lava flowed along the edge of the town, setting many of the homes on fire. Luckily, the eruption has since come to an end, but the problem now lies in the cracked ground the tragedy left behind, which scientists fear may actually cause the town to collapse. High levels of deformation in the eastern part of the town are of immediate concern to those who live there, as well as those trying to figure out ways to stop any further damage from happening. Because of the eruptions and the possibility of further damage, the town was evacuated and as of right now is still not safe to return to. Alright you guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and that you're all staying safe. I'm Hannah Thompson, your host, and I'll see you next time.